Hello and welcome everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're joining us from. My name is Omalola Alfred and I'm the Programs and Training Lead at Dynamics 365 Nigerian User Group. We are so excited and happy to have everybody here today. So what are we doing today? Today we are going to be customizing Dynamics 365 with the Power Apps model driven application. And the person that will be teaching us today is no other than Obafemi Orumbe. Hi, Obafemi. How are you?
Hi, Omolola. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us.
All right. So, before we just go ahead and Obafemi is going to share his screen, we'll just Obafemi, you just take us and just give us a little introduction on the importance of um customizing an application with the model driven app. Why is it actually important for me to be able to customize Dynamics 365 with a model driven application? Why is it? Why do you think is important? Just tell us from your well of experience, the things that you have experienced in developing applications.
All right, thank you, Omolola. Well, um, we know basically the Dynamics 365 application comes out as a bundle, which we refer to as out of the box. And one of the applications that, some of the applications that come out of the bundle of this bundle includes the sales app, which is like the sales hub, which is like the main thing for salespeople. We equally have the marketing app that also like the go-to app, well packaged and developed by Microsoft, for the marketing people, and the sales app and the marketing app goes hand in hand. Also, we have some of the out of the box application, which includes the the customer service app and the omni channel. These works together, solely. They're separate applications actually, but I mean you can leverage um, on these two applications, to manage like a call center, where you get requests or where you get complaints, for complaint management, for request management, and for other things like that. So basically, if you have even for inquiries, yeah, even for inquiries, when you have situations like that, we also have the field service and the field service mobile app, which is basically um, is also an out of the box application, which is basically for um, people where you have service engineers, or you have people that goes out to the field, to render one sort of service or the other. Basically, you can use that to allocate resource. It's great for resource management, um, including human management, allocation of time and resources for each service that the organization renders. Now, the question is why customizing um, Dynamics 365? There are some other use cases that has not been taken care of, by these the out of the box application, right? And then Microsoft made Dynamics 365 in a way that is highly customizable. Um, Generally, we refer to it as a low code way, of building applications. This is something similar to Canvas apps, in Power Apps, right? And, when you have use cases or when you have scenarios that are not strictly tailored towards um, the standard sales process, or that are not strictly tailored towards the customer service process, that brings in the need of you customizing the application. You can come up with a custom app, you can come up with custom tables, you can come up with custom columns, like that. And then if there are situations where you need to pull up all these resources, maybe you need a little bit of things, components from sales app, from customer service, like that. You can pull all of those resources together to form a single application, and then that customizing, that ability to customize it helps meet the requirement, helps meet the need as the use cases arises.
Awesome, awesome. So from everything that you have said, I've been able to gather that whether you're a Dynamics 365 engineer or you're a Power Platform engineer, right? Having the
Mhm,
ability or having the knowledge. So if you're a Dynamics 365 engineer, you should have at least the knowledge of Power Platform so that you'll be able to use the Power Platform to
mhm.
customize the Dynamics 365. So if you are
You're
a
right.
Power Platform engineer, you should also have some understanding of the Dynamics 365 just in case that there is a business need where you need to actually customize the Dynamics 365 with the Power Platform that you already know. So if you're here and you're a Dynamics 365 engineer, or you're here and you're a Power Platform engineer, or anytime you ever come across this video and you are either a Dynamics 365 engineer or a Power Platform engineer, you are in the right place. This knowledge is what you're going to learn today is actually very, 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 very crucial for or in your journey. All right. So I'm just going to allow you to share your screen, Obafemi, and we are just going to go ahead and I'll let you do your magic. Okay.
All right, thank you, Molola.
Okay. So
Yep.
while you share your screen with us, for all those that are joining, so I can already see Nigeria Girl in Malta. I can see Olaopa, Olaleke saying hi. All right. But for every other person joining us, please let us know where exactly you are joining us from. Where are you joining us from? Let us meet you. Where exactly are you joining us from today? Let's meet you. Let's meet you. Where are you joining us from? Where are you joining us from today? Okay. All right. So I can see IJ Ochumba. Pius is saying hello, good afternoon from Kogi State. Hi, Pius. We are happy to meet you too. Leke from Lagos, we are happy to meet you. IJ is saying hi. All right. Obafemi, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, IJ is
Okay.
joining us from Ireland. All right.
All right. Let me know when I can proceed to share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead and share your screen, please.
All right. Okay. So I believe my screen is visible to everyone, right, Amalola?
Yes, yes. Your screen is visible.
All right. Thank you. So basically, from the little introduction I gave, what we're seeing currently on my screen is the Dynamics 365 environment, the CRM, right? I believe that we've had some other sessions where we had this distinction, um, where we made clearly that the Dynamics 365 is in two parts, right? The ERP and the CRM. So basically, what we're looking at today is the CRM, which now I think is being called the customer engagement, right? The CE, dynamic CE environment. All right. So currently in an organization on my tenant, and here these are the out of the box um, these are the out of the box applications that I made mention of. This is the customer service hub. This is the customer service admin center. Basically, what you do here is you run all of the configurations for this application here. This is where you configure the agent experience, the user experience, and everything. Also, we have the field service and the field service mobile app here. We have also the Dynamics 365 for Outlook. The beautiful thing is that Dynamics 365 is seamlessly and perfectly integrated with Outlook. So there is that smooth way of communication, via your timelines where you can send out emails, to send out emails in and out of Dynamics. And we're leveraging this integration based on that. So you can it provides you like a single platform for interacting with your clients, with your customers. You know, you don't need to switch apps, you know, before sending stuff out like emails and others. And we also have one of the out of the box here, which is the Sales Hub, and we have these is the Sales Team Member app. Basically, this is kind of limited if you're using a sales team kind of license. Yeah, I want to believe we still have that in existence, right? And then you can your users we have access to this alone. So we just open the customer service app and the sales app just first to have a feel of what the out of the box looks like. You know, this is like a refresher before we go on to customizing. All right. So basically, this is what the customer service hub looks like. You have in your sitemap here, you have different group, my work, where you have the dashboard, the activities. Another segment here is the customers, where you have your account, you have the contact, you have the social profiles, you have your cases, you have the queues, you know, like that. And then you have all of those segregation. And down here, you have the option of changing the area that you have access to. Yeah, so this is me just switching from from service to scheduling, right? And then I can switch over. Now I'm changing over to what I did is to click on the customer service up here, and that will bring will load up the dashboard that presents us with a list of application. And then going into the sales hub. So the sales hub is the application I made mention of that it's built solely by Microsoft, you know, basically um, for the salespeople. So here they have the flexibility of working with leads, working with opportunities within the same environment. You can create codes, you can create orders, you can create invoices, and do a little bit of marketing. Also, you can um, set goals and you know make forecasts and all of that. And also, it has its own change area where you can you know switch to other aspects. So this is what we will be doing basically today. So let's have this scenario in our head, like maybe you have a situation whereby an institution is currently using Dynamics 365, you know, to manage their the database, the student database, you know, right, and manage student engagement. And we're looking at basically seeing how you can monitor students' payments and you know check who has paid, who has if you have payment lines, maybe like in trenches, you know, like in batches like that. So you could check if a particular student has made a full payment or partial payment, and from there you can, you know, either automate like a reminder, you know, to the students via email, or you could basically do an on-demand, you know, email, something like you know you go to each student's profile and then you send out a kind of an email to them in a form of reminder. So this what we'll be having today will be like an introduction to everything customization, right? So I believe Omolola, we will still have the opportunity of having further sessions, right, where we would do further customization. I want to believe that's
Definitely.
all right. Thank
Definitely,
you
we are going to have other sessions for customization.
for customization. Okay, so today we will just basically look at one, creating a custom app, and when we're done creating the custom app, we will be creating custom tables, and then we will create columns, and then we'll see how we could do one or two relationships, create a relationship that could connect the data within these two tables that we'll be creating. And one thing I'll be doing also is I would want to see a way of merging the out of the box tables with the solely custom table that I'll be creating. So when we say out of the box is when this environment is being created, things like account table, things like the contact table, they came in prepackaged, with the application, right? And yeah, basically all of these can be customized, can be modified. You can tweak it a little, you can tweak it as much as you want. So let's dive into creating our custom application. There are a couple of ways with which you can do that. So one of which is you can come back to the application area here on your dashboard and click on this button to create a new app. You could also scroll down to the bottom and then click on this button. Also, click here to create something like that, like a new app. So I have, like a test app I created, just before this demo session. So we'll be creating another one, something very similar to what we have here. So I think now that I've mentioned these, let me just show these to us. So this is what it looks like. You have less things here. You could have more, and that is where this flexibility comes in. Do you can handle it like the way you like. So if you're following along, opening a new tab, I'm already signed into this profile on the browser I'm using. So I'll be going to make the Power Apps. I believe this is an environment or an area of customization that is familiar to both those in Dynamics 365, solely, the CRM aspect, and also even to those that are in Power Platform. This is a very familiar environment to us. So at the top here, the right, you can switch between environments. It happens that I have multiple environments within my tenants. We also call these organizations, right? So for this demo session, I'll be using this particular environment organization. Now to create, sorry, let me just take a step back to give us a feel of what we have here. So on the left hand side here, where we have the home, we have the create, you have the lane, you have the app. These will give us like the list of apps. Let me just do a quick click on it. We have a list of applications that are currently on this environment, and then you have here the type, right? It's still loading. Yeah. So we have here the type. So peradventure, I have a Canvas app here. I can have a Canvas app here also. That is what I'm saying in essence. So peradventure, I have a Canvas app. You'll see that the type of the application will be Canvas. And if I have a portal here, that's the Power Pages. You have the type to be Porter. However, in this environment, I have solely model-driven apps, right? And so this area will give us the feel of all of that. You can see the component, area also. We do not have any component. It's looking like this is a fresh environment I actually created. Also, we have here tables. Tables used to be called entities. Yeah. Yeah, and then we have the solutions, we have the choices, like the option sets, and all of that. And then you have more. This is showing us more components that have been that can be created or modified from this um, from this environment. All right, moving on. So you can create a new app either from the top here, or we'll create from here, you know, either of the two. So if you click on here, let me just click for you to have a feel. You have the option of creating a Canvas app. You have the option of going by the model driven app, and then the website, which is the portal that I made mention of. So I will click on create from here, and then I have this new page open. And what I'm creating is a blank app because we're just solely starting. Let me hide this away. All right. And then we have these options, like I've mentioned earlier, and we'll proceed to create um, the blank model driven app, which is leveraging the power or the things that have been provided, via the dataverse. So basically, the way data management is being handled in the Dynamics environment is by using the dataverse. So all of the data is stored in the dataverse. When you create a record, all of this management, all of everything is being handled, by using the dataverse. So we'll proceed to create. We will give our application a name. So we're creating a student payments application, and you could just give it a description if you so desired. So um, this app is built to manage um, student payment. So this is just me giving a description of what this application does, in my own way. You have the flexibility of, you know, describing it as you so desire. So I clicked on the advanced, and the reason why I clicked on the advanced is because I I want to build this app, to model the um, to model the out of the box sales hub, the sales application I showed us earlier. So we check this box, which is to use components from a custom solution. And then I will click on the list of solutions here. And here, the default solution is like the overall solution. You have the flexibility of creating solutions, right? However, when you create a solution and then you push any of the components you have in that solution, you publish it. Yeah. When you publish it, all of the components and all of the changes or the customization that you've made get synchronized, with the default solution. And the default solution is the solution that comes prepackaged, from Microsoft, right? When the environment is being deployed. So what I want is I want to pick the component, gets I'm picking a sitemap, right? That is solely made for the sales hub. So the next thing for me to do is to click on the drop down arrow on the sitemap field, and here I will go straight to select the sales hub. Now, if you're looking closely at my screen, you'll see here that you have all of those applications here. Also, you have the customer service hub, you have the field service, you have the field service mobile, you have the omni-channel, administration, and all of that. You could have the omni-channel also here, and we're going with Sales Hub. So selecting Sales Hub, I will click on Create and wait for the applications to be created. So basically, what we're doing now is We're creating something blank, like that. We're leveraging, um, we're leveraging on the out of the box application that has been created, like the sales hub. And then we have these, I believe, in the fully coded um, space, they refer to what I just did to be like starting up a web development with a boilerplate, like you have a template, that you're working with. All right, so we'll click on continue. This is just telling us that this app contains, some navigation items, with duplicate IDs, and this can be corrected. So we will, or this can be modified as we want. So we can see the title of our application is here, and which is a student payment application. We have everything here. Let me take this off a bit. Okay, I was expecting this to expand. However, you have a full view when we open the application itself. And this is where we'll be spending most of our time, this area here. I'd just like you to know also that whatever actions we perform here can be performed in something we call the classic app designer, and the classic, um, or the legacy advanced settings. So you can create entities. By entities I mean tables, right? From the legacy advanced settings. But what Microsoft is trying, it's making efforts to do at this time, is to see how to bring all of these efforts, everything you need to do into this Maker Portal area, which is the Power Apps arena here, where we're creating things. So just to show you, I can switch to Classic here. Yes, save and continue. So this is going to pop up a new window for us. Okay, I pop up blocker blocked it. So I will give it another shot. Switch to Classic, right? So here, this is what the legacy app designer looks like, where you can edit the sitemap, you can work on the on the dashboard, you can also customize the business, you can create business process flows. And here also you have the list of entities. You can see here still being referred to as entities. And what we have here as entities is just the same thing we have here as tables. And also here we have the forms, we have the views, we have the charts, and all of that. All of those we can customize by see. So we can, select the forms that we want to appear, to users. If you want all of these forms to be added, to the application, you can tick all of these and add. So this is just me showing you that these, whatever we do here today, can also be done, right? Can also be done from the legacy area. We also have one other legacy advanced setting area that I'll be showing us, shortly. So let's go to. I just want to publish. Let me publish what we have currently before we start making changes. So I would just like to state that whatever action you perform here, always ensure that you publish. It is not just sufficient for you to save, it is very important that you publish. Publishing is you like hitting go live, say go live, and I want to be able to see this. So I believe we should have, if I refresh here, updating the list. And here we have our student payment app, a custom application here. So opening our custom application, we have all of these, prepackaged, and we don't need goals, we don't need marketing currently in what we're doing, even if it will be needed, like maybe in the future, to reach out to prospective students and all of that. You might want to do like a campaign or something. We don't need codes. So this is what it looks like just before we start making our changes. And also we have something here that it's tailored towards contacts. So contacts are a kind of a subset of accounts in a way that if you're following the traditional sales model. So accounts are like they're like companies, they're like organizations, and I mean, basically, for every organization that your business will be interacting with, you will have a representative from that organization, right? And that is where contacts comes in. So, yes, you're interacting with, let's say, Obafemi Corporation. Who is that person within that business? That is um, your point of contact. Whoever that person is would be the contact here. But that's for another use case. Now, in this use case where we have students and we are relating with students, we definitely do not need the account table. We sure need the contact table, right? And then I'll be opening the contact table for us. So what we'll be doing is we'll be renaming this contact table and modifying it, customizing it basically to suit our needs. And if I click on new, this is the form and this is what it does look like. Now, here you're seeing student contact form. Uh, this is coming from the earlier demo I made, like re- creating all of this. So let's proceed. Let's switch back to the makeup portal area. So looking at the navigation area here, we agreed that we'll be taking off the performance sub area. Okay. So let me just show us something quickly. So we have the area, we have the group, and then we have the sub area. Um, so here, right? So if I click on add here, this is kind of faint. So if I select this, yeah. So we have the area, we have the group, and then we have the sub area. So basically, everything under app setting, everything under sales insight, all of these, they are the area, right? And then when you're talking about the group, we have the my work group, you have the customers group, you have the sales group, and then you have the dashboard area, the sub area, the sub area. So the
Um,
same thing you have here.
so Obafemi, for
Yes,
people that are watching and are wondering, oh, what is area, what is sub area? So from what you just said, you showed us the things that are under area and you showed us the things that are under group and all of that. Are those the navigation? Can you just explain further?
yes. Basically, they are the navigation. So if I return back to um, the unified interface here, so the group that I refer to is, so let me go back a step. The area, if I click on this, the sales area here, so we have the sales area, we have the app setting area. So I'm able to switch areas within the unified interface here. So I am switching from sales to app settings. And then switching from sales to app settings, you can see that we're presented with a new list of, the navigations. You can click on these, to go to views. You can click on these to go to, let's say you want to set up Copilot and all of that. So I'm switching area back to my sales, to the sales area. Now, coming down to group, you have a group here. You have the My Work group. You have the customer group, right? And then you have the sales group. You can also tweak this to make it collapsible, whereby you have these, the arrow here, which will collapse all of these and then bring it back up, right? And then the sub area is all of these tables here, the account tables, that are being added to the sitemap. So basically, what we're doing here is customizing the sitemap. So, and that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to customize the sitemap to take off the areas, and also to take off the groups that are not needed in this custom application that we are building, right? Omolola, I hope that is rightly answered. Is it clear? All right. I believe Omolola is still with us. Okay.
Yes, can
So
you hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, that's clear. That's good enough.
All right, thank you. So what we'll be doing is to take off the service group, because basically we're not going to be making use of all of these, and we can go ahead and remove these from the navigation. So what I am trying to achieve in a way is to give us a feel of the term, letting you know where we're coming from, and then where we are now. So you can see here, you have the new group, you have the new page. Now pages here, it's what used to be called area. So peradventure you find yourself, using the legacy settings area, you can still find your way around. So I'm going to remove the service group from our navigation area. Yes. And also I'm removing all of these. I'm removing marketing also. And also, so we could just keep things simple for the introductory session we have today. We'll not be making use of the leads, the opportunity at this time. So we are also removing this. All right. And then, yeah. So what I've done is I have removed from the group. Now, I can remove from within the group. So I don't want to remove everything under customers, right? I just want to remove, I don't need accounts. And so I can remove the account table from here. Dashboard, we can let dashboard be. I can also remove sales accelerator from here. And I will just save the progress for now. Just so you could see what we've done. I'm publishing, and then I'll go back to the unified area, the unified interface, and refresh. So what I'm doing is I'm refreshing by clearing cache, just for us to have. So our custom app is coming up, gradually. So we have streamlined all of these to how we want it to be. So we'll proceed to see how we can. We have views, right? And then we have the forms. Now, drilling down, let me go back here. Let me go back to the unified interface. So looking at these from here, we have When you click on this navigation area here and then you select the contacts table, or the entity from here, it will present us with a view, and we are able to switch in between views. And this is like, see, all of the views that came, prepackaged. Also, you can edit the views, by adding columns. All of these are what I refer to as columns. And please bear in mind that um, when you edit columns from within the unified interface, um, edit columns that are system columns. System columns are columns that comes, like out of the box, which is like my active contacts, the all contacts, the inactive contacts. I mean, we should have active contact also. Yeah. So like we have active contact. This is something we can also tweak a little. When you modify any of the system views from within the unified interface here by clicking on the edit columns, adding columns and doing all of these, it will present you. Let me just do that so that. So let's say we're interested in I've decided to add it to the view. And then we can see after I made that addition, the little addition there, it came up with an asterisk. Excuse me, came up with an asterisk, and then I can proceed to save this as a new view. Now, saving this is giving us a personal view. So this is one of the beautiful things that Microsoft has presented to us. One of the little customizations that can be done. So you can create personal views. You can have views that are not organization wide. So if your day to day task involves you working with uh, some specific kind of records, you can create a view that speaks to that alone. Also, you have the flexibility of editing all of these filters, all of that. And then you have something tailored to your own use. So going back to our Maker Portal area, you can work on the views. So what we're going to do is to limit the number of views that we have presented here, and then we will just tweak it, a little. So going to views, I'll be clicking directly here um, on this navigation, and then we'll have like a pop-up here. So you can see that all of the views, this is including all of the views. You have the opportunity of removing all of these views one after the other. However, I'll just go ahead, because of time, I will take off all of the views. And when I'm taking off all of the views, it is going to retain the one that is at the top. So you can see, because for every application and for every table, you should have a view, right? So it's going to retain a view. What I'm interested in is I'm just interested in knowing the I'm interested in having a view, for the active students and for the non-active, students, like getting their contact details. So I'm going to add this, to the app, and I'm going to remove the active, removing these, and also um, need to show more. Yep, inactive. I'm adding these also. So I can click on the pencil icon here, to edit further. This is prompting me to save because of the changes that I just made here. So it's going to save and reload the page. And then we have the page to be open. And so I could just say um, this view should be presenting me with active um, students, contacts, information. You just have it as info like that, and then you're filtering basically for the active. And let me click on that just to show us. So the when you're customizing, we are adding a filter, and the filter is basically giving us only records that are with the status set to be equal to active. You can build more, add more filters by clicking on add, here, add the row, add the group, and doing all of that. So we'll proceed by, I'll save this. This is saved. And then I can go back here so that I could just publish everything at once. So I'll go back to views, and then I'm interested in um, modifying this also. Please don't forget that we are still working with the out of the box. So I will just proceed and save only. And then I'll go back to this area. So just for the sake of time, I won't be publishing just yet. I want to show us also that we can not just um, tweaking. What we've changed is the views here, right? By the time we publish, you will see that we have just the ones that we've selected here. And so we're still seeing all of this because we've not published. Okay. So outside creating these views, you can also work with the columns that are presented to you in the view. By columns, I mean, all of these, the field here, the full name, the email, we can tweak all of these. So if you click on the edit view here, the edit view icon, the pencil icon here, it's going to load up um, the page here where I can come here and say, yeah, we don't need company name on the view. We don't need business phone on the view. And what else can I do here? We can add view columns. If I click on the view columns, I can go ahead here to, let me just search. Peradventure, I have it home. So we have the home.
So, Obafemi, just to
Yes.
provide a little bit of context, right, to what we are doing. So, a
Okay.
view in a model-driven application, or at all when we are talking about data is. So, for instance, I have 35 columns, right, where my
Mm-hmm.
data is sitting. So, in all these 35 columns, we have data sitting in all these columns. So, when I create a view, what I'm saying is view will just provide me the things I want to quickly be able to see on my
Yes.
table. So, for
Yes.
instance, now what Obafemi is currently doing now is that he's adding columns to his view. So, what is basically showing us here is that the view are editable. So, you can decide to say that for this my view, I want to be able to see important columns, right? And that was why we saw that he removed a view because he removed a column from the view because that is not so important in the context of this particular demo, right? So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
please go.
All right. Thank you, Omolola, for the contribution. So basically, just as Omolola rightly told us, you have this opportunity, to remove things that are not needed based on the context of what you're trying to modify or what you're trying to create, and also you can add, more columns, to the view. And the columns are the fields, interchangeably. I'm just using those terms where our data, sits in. When you fill those forms, and then you choose all of those options. Yeah. So I believe I saved this earlier. Yes. So we can quickly go back. So what we have done basically with the views is we have made changes to the views so far. So looking at the form, I will publish everything once I'm done with the form. So you have also the opportunity of choosing the forms that are available, to users, right? And basically you can do that from here. So what I'm going to do is you have the information form, you have the customer profile form. All of these are not needed at this time, and basically not all of them are needed. I just needed, the student contact form. So I can turn off all of these. um, this is something, and like an improvement made by Microsoft. I think prior to this time, you have to start removing or deactivating all of these forms, one after the other. So I can add this form to the application, and I would like to remove this form to the application. So the form here is what comes like when you, excuse me, when you open up, the area, and then you click on the new icon here. What we are doing is we are customizing what gets presented to the user of the dynamic environment at that time. And then within the form we have, let me save these. Within the form, we have the fields or the columns, like we've been mentioning. We're interested in taking the first name, in taking the last name, in taking, the home, and then, you can take address also. Um, and you can equally add more fields, to this form, right? So I'll just go ahead and publish at this time. Just bearing in mind our time. Okay, so let's wait for this to publish while we go to the unified interface. Yeah, and then we can go ahead and refresh. Okay, so we can see that the views we have here now is the active student contact information as we have rightly have it, and then we have just this, and then we have this tailored to what we've done. And looking at the form also, if you open a new form, you can see here these are the fields that we want. These are the tabs also. Yeah, so you can take off some of these tabs. I mean, in subsequent sessions, just not to take this for too long. In subsequent sessions, we'll be diving deep into how we can modify all of these tabs and all of that. All right, so let's. Okay, one more thing I want us to do before we create the solely custom app is I will want us to rename this change area, to something that suits our need at this time. So if you look at the top here, to the left of the screen, we have these pages right under these pages. So this you can switch all of these pages. You can remove the one you don't want, you can take it off. And then what I'm just going to do is I'm going to rename. I'm going to edit the properties of this. Since we're not doing something that is related to sales, this is about students. So we're going to change this to students. I'm going to save and publish. I will publish immediately because I want you to see what it looks like have a feel of it. So after I refresh, our change area will now be students. So we are on the student page here, right? Uh, Also, please note that this contact also can be changed. I just retained this basically because I want us to understand that when you're customizing, you can have a mix of it, right? You can have your custom and you can have the OOB things work hand in hand without breaking the system, right? Okay, so moving on to the last thing we're going to be doing, we're going to create, what we've done is to create a table that captures the information of all of the students, right? So next, we're going to create a table that will be handling, capturing the payments, just like an holding area, for the payment. Okay. So I want it. Okay. Also, I'd like to take off this. I'm renaming this customer also. Just what I did is to click on it, and then you have the property area to open here. And I will rather prefer we have this to be student management. This is something that is more relatable to the app we're building. So under the student management group, we have captured the details of the student, right? And the next thing we want to do is to go ahead and capture their payment information. And then we're going to be creating a relationship between um, that information table, which is the contact and also the payment, so that you'll be able to tie one payment that's been created to a particular student. So I'll click on new here, click on new, and what I'm creating is a database table. So I'll leave this checked. I'll go ahead to next. Yes, I'll leave this checked as I want the table to show in the navigation area. And then I am not using an existing table, I'm creating a new table. And what I want that table to be called is like the payment student payment. So we have the student payment table. This is the display name, and then we have the plural name. And then here you can see we have also the schema name, which is like the logical name. We need to pay attention to all of these. And the record ownership. I want the record here to be organization wide, not just for the user or the team. So whatever record that is being created within this particular table should be owned by the organization, should be something that anybody within the organization can interact with, provided that you have the required um, security rules and privileges. I think that's another uh, interesting aspect of Dynamics 365 that's worth taking a look into. So I've clicked on create, and then we have our custom table being created. Let me just give it a while. Okay, so this is going to take a couple of might not be up to 2 minutes or so. But what is happening in the background is that um, the system is creating forms and views and creating every other component that are needed, like that. And and that is why the whole thing is being referred to, in a way like low code or even no code. I think I can call this no code, right? Omolola. And then we can refer to the things that the Power Platform developers do, as the low code.
Well,
Omolola.
yes, for the sake of this demo, we'll just, agree with that. Because at least for everything we have done so far, we have not written a line of code, right?
Mhm.
And so before now, we've actually explained and we've talked about us customizing the Dynamics 365, and we said that Dynamics 365, this part that we are doing, you could do no code at all, and
Yeah.
you can now decide to customize this with low code. So you customize with, say, Power Automate, you customize with,
Mhm.
say, Power Apps, just like we're doing now. You can even
Yeah.
customize with Canvas app, right, depending
With
on
Canvas.
the use
Yeah.
case.
You can
But you
have
can
an
also
embedded Canvas app. Mhm.
yes, yes, you can also take it higher and customize with a JavaScript,
Mhm.
depending on what you want to do. But for the sake of this, we will agree that it's no code. We have not
Is
written
not-
any.
Yeah, we've not written any code. Yeah, and also we can do plugins also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
With
yeah,
C sharp.
with C sharp. Yeah. And all of that too, it's still low code. That is LOW code, like
Low code.
low code.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we're just waiting for our custom table to. Okay. So while we wait for this to get created, let me just show you here. I believe we made some changes to um, we made some changes to the group here, and so let's see if this can go hand in hand, just for us to see why this is still getting published. Okay, so I'll still need this to get completed so that I can publish everything. And a very interesting part that Lola made mention of is, running automations, with Power Automate. You can um, automate processes, right, on Dynamics 365. And we do all of those automations, by creating processes. You can have like a workflow being created. You can have like a cloud flow being created. You can schedule a flow, and all of that. You can um, everything you do in the Power Automate, all of those can be easily or seamlessly, in a way, integrated integrated um, with Dynamics 365 model driven application. And I believe in the future we'll be taking a look at all of those customizations, you know, going from the no code that we're doing today, to adding a little bit of encode and configurations. We could even bring in dynamic content. So that's one interesting thing that I figured, with dynamics. Like you have this opportunity of sending out personalized communications, to people, to clients, by leveraging dynamic content. So yeah, you might be pushing out kind of email communications to maybe students. You have that sole yeah, chance of speaking directly to each person, as if you sat, to draft all of those emails. And what you've done is just for you to create a template, have all of those dynamic values inserted into the template. And when these emails are being sent out, per time, they're sending it out to all of those individuals as if those are carefully, carved out. Then that's one of the things we'll be looking into in subsequent classes. I just need to refresh this. Is appears to be taking longer than expected. Okay, guys, I'll just refresh our page. Okay, so let's give it another shot quickly. It's actually not supposed to take that long. Okay, so now we have our table created. What I've just done is to peradventure that one created, maybe halfway, and has already created some kind of grid in the system referencing student payment. I wouldn't want to come across an error. That was why I decided to add, like area to it. So that's just the reason for doing that, right? So it's not like it's like a big deal, kind of, just for us to knock off the possibility of having duplicates on the system. Okay, so here we have a name field that has been created, like the name column that has been created by default for us. I'm kind of interested in knowing. Yeah, so we have other feeds also, the modified on the status reason, and all of that has been created. All right, so quickly let's create our own fields. I believe in the student payment area, we'll be interested in knowing the student name, right? So we can have a field for the student name. All right. We can have a field for the student name. For the sake of time, I won't go into the description. And then we have different data type options that we can, take into account. So the data type here is text. So I'll just leave this as it. Oh no, sorry. So what I intend to do with this particular field is recall that we already captured the student information, right, in another table. So we want us to create a field that is looking up to that um, contact table that houses the student information. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this a lookup field. And then a lookup field is what are we relating this to? Yeah, it should be optional. However, in well, let's make it required, business required. So you have the option of having it to be optional, to be business recommended, and business required. And the implication of business required is that that field must be filled before it is saved, before the record can be saved. Also, we are relating this table to which field? I mean, sorry, we are relating this field to which table? We're relating it to our student. I believe we have, yeah, the student contact. So we are relating it to the student contact table. Let's take a look at the advanced options. Yeah, we're good here. So what lookup fields does is you're not going to be typing in like the name. You're going to click on it and look for existing records in the system, in the database. So for you to make payments, that means you must have been an existing student, right? That means your record exists in the database. Your record exists like in the database as we have it. So we can see we have the student name field here. Also, we've been interested in knowing like the payment status. So this could be a yes or no field, like a two option field. So we want to know, has this person paid? Has this person not paid? So we're creating like a yes or no choice field. So what I did is in the data type area, I will I'm going to choice and then I'm going to choose yes or no, right? And uh, here I'm going to leave these. I think we can have it as optional as required, just as it's the business might demand. But I think it's good to have it as required. Yes. And then you can have your label um to be the no would be that the person has not fully paid, and we have these also to be that has been fully paid. So it is either the payment has been made fully or payment has not been made fully. And then you can just take a look at the options. These are the additional settings that you can do. Do you want it to be sortable? Do you want it to appear in dashboards, when you do global filters and all of that? Do you want this to be, um, are you capturing auditing for this field? Like when changes have been made, do you want to know who made all of those changes? That is what this is for. And so, for every field you create, you have the option of selecting the choice of selecting all of these options. All right, so I'll go ahead to save. And I think we are also interested in knowing the due date. And so this will be like a date field. So we can have it to be like um, a date only field. And yeah, the advanced settings is like the same, and all of that. So you can click OK. And I think there is one more field that's still very important, and that is the amount, right? Let's say the total amount for the student to pay here. So to handle this, it depends on how well you want to manage, or the kind of manipulation you want to do. You can have it to be number. However, we have something like a currency field here where you can enter the value, and all of that. So we can have a currency field, and then I'll save. So this will be the last action. I mean, demo we'll be having within the time. I recall clearly that we did not, start exactly 12 on the dot, right? And I hope Omolola have not overshot the time. Omolola.
Yes, we have about just 5 minutes more. Let's just round up the class.
All
Thank you so
right.
much.
Okay. Thank you, our moderator. So what we'll be doing is Microsoft has actually made life very easy, with a Wake Portal environment. Trust you. You can see I clicked on update forms and views here. This option was not, available, some time back. You had to be doing all of these, one after the other. So I can decide to update all of these fields that have been created, all of these columns that have been created, at once to um, selected forms and selected views. I believe by now we are familiar with what I meant by forms. So I want it on the quick create forms and yeah, and on the information and also on the view. Yeah, so we'd like to see it here. We'd like to see it here. We'd like to have it. You can just add it to all. It doesn't hurt. And then we will update. So we are updating the fonts and the views. All right, so updating the forms and views, and then I will click on close. So we can see here already we have a notification here saying that some pages in this app have changed, and then you can select publish, to see the latest. So I'll just go ahead and publish. And if you, while this is publishing, I would just like to take attention to the navigation area here. You can see that we have the student payment to have been added to our navigation area. Both the form and the views, everything has been added here. I'm just doing this the second time. One time is actually okay, but just to be double sure that we have it updated. All right, so now we can go back uh, to the application, the unified interface, and then I can refresh. Basically, I'm reloading the page. Yeah, and our expectation is that um, we have our custom table being added, to the navigation area, right? And you can see under the student management, you have the opportunity of creating these, and then you can also go to the student. It comes with its views, and on the view, remember we added all of these, the payment status, the student name, and all of that. So we can, let's create a contact record. So this is a student that we are uh, bringing into our system. This is our demo student, and the email of our demo student is demo at email. And then we have the home phone. I believe I didn't take off one of the fields from the home phone. Now that we have two home phones here, so you can just have we dummy data like that, and then we create we create a record. Now you have details under the details tab. You can see other details, and all of that. And then under the related, the particular one that I'm interested in is the one we created, the student area. I mean, the student payment area. The student payment area here, it's supposed to give us the payment information as it pertains to our student here, the demo student, right? Okay, so we can add a new payment here, or we can go here and create a new record. So basically, if you go and create a new record, so what is our student demo making payment? He's making for could be for first semester. Yeah, and now we're looking up the student name. So we are associating this payment to the student demo student. And here, not fully paid, you can see the options we we created, and then here we can pick the date. Let's say it will be due on by the end of this month, and then how much is this person expected to pay? To be like about 120 thousand naira. You're having naira here because I that is our currency in Nigeria, and that is the base currency that I chose while creating the environment, right? Note that you can have additional currency. So the fact that I created this in naira does not mean that we can't have it in dollar or in pounds, and all of that. So have additional you can have additional currencies. However, please note that you cannot change the base currency. So I'll be saving this record. Yep. So this is saved, and this is duly associated to this student. So if I go back to student information and then I open the student demo and we go to related records and I'm interested in seeing, oh, okay, has he made payment? When is his payment going to be due? You can see we have a record, here um, for this. So this is I know it appears to be like a long one, but basically this is us just trying to tweak the out of the box and adding something custom to it. There's a lot more that can be done. However, time will not permit us. As Amalola has promised, we have opportunities, future opportunities, to come up with other sessions that could show us other things that we can do, using all of those things that we mentioned earlier, right? All right, Omolola, over to you.
All right. Thank you so very much, Obafemi. This was, a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful insight into how the Dynamics 365 can actually be customized with the Power Platform. Over time, people have actually asked us in this community, how can I really customize? Because we've done several trainings on, looking at the out of the box sales. We did an out of the box sales 3 days training. We have done customer service training, but we have never really gone into the customization side of things. And we've also received questions from sister communities asking us, oh, okay, I'm a Power Platform developer. How can I now you know what's the relation between perhaps and basically between Power Platform and Dynamics? And a lot of people have actually used the terminology that Dynamics and Power Platform are brothers and sisters. So how did they
Yeah.
actually relate? So thank you so much. This is a good insight, and it's a good knowledge that we've actually gained today. So everybody that has joined us, and anybody that will actually watch this video in any time that you watch it, we are a community that is centered on empowering people, teaching people how to do all of this. We've done customization. There we have several trainings coming up, trainings on ARP. We also have more trainings, all right, on customization. We'll be seeing Obafemi more, and we'll be seeing other people join us to teach us these things, all right? So thank you so much, Obafemi.
Thank
Do
you.
you have any last words for us?
All right, thank you. Sorry, I didn't hear
Do you
that.
do you have any last words? Any last words you want to say?
Last, awesome. All right. So basically, we just want to appreciate, the community. It's a great work we're doing, spurring up people and, to embrace the technology, right? And also, this is not just about the community, this is about businesses, helping businesses automate things, helping businesses, to be more productive, achieving more, you know, like all of that. And basically, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has joined us today, and I hope we've learned one or two things. And please look forward to more to come.
All right. Bye,
All right,
everybody.
bye.